Hey there viewers, and welcome back to Grumpy Monkey Garage, where today we're talking about one of the best SUVs money can buy. All right, so this is a 2014 or newest gen Toyota RAV4, and I just want to talk about everything to do with the car, so I'm gonna have to slow myself down. We're gonna start on this side. No more dent panels. If you buy this car, you know what you're doing. You shouldn't be opening your door into your neighbor. There's no more safety features for that, no more saving your paint. They went away with the tire on the back. They went away with a lot of stuff. But what they kept was reliability, which I really enjoy. You could tell they were trying to hit a price point. They spent all the money on the engine and transmission, none of the money on anything else. But you know what? It worked out okay. They used the parts bin from the rest of their Toyota products and still got a fantastic SUV put together. One of the things I want to talk about with this is, I mentioned in our Jeep review that we were talking about roof racks. This one is functional, but you do have to buy more stuff. You have to buy cross racks to use it. But honestly, if you're buying a RAV4, you're probably not in the market to go surfing or, you know, mountain biking. This is the perfect commuter car for the family. You got to go to work, you need to get good gas mileage. The 2.5 gets excellent gas mileage. Oh, now you got to take your kid and your kid's friend to soccer practice. You've got enough room for that. Oh, you need to take the dog too? You got space for him too. There's plenty of space inside this car. It makes an excellent entry-level SUV. And now that these prices are finally starting to come down on these RAV4s, the regular person can afford to buy them. They're not unobtainable anymore. And I would much rather buy a 10-year-old Toyota product than a brand new Chrysler product or Ford product. This is the best you can get. Let's talk about engine and trans, because I'm going to get right into that. Okay, so under the hood we have the 2.5 liter four-cylinder, which is great. They do offer a V6 option in RAV4s of this vintage. The four-cylinder is better. The V6 was very picky on bleeding the air out. There's tons of videos complaining about a random overheating problem. They had a weird issue. And the generation slightly before this one with the 2.4 had an oil consumption problem. They fixed all of those things with this engine, the 2.5. It does not have any of those issues that I've seen so far. These are still relatively new. They're just coming out to being affordable for my customer base where I live. So it's pretty rare to have these come in for anything other than just regular maintenance. Oil changes, tires, brakes. I mean, one time we had somebody hit a really big pothole and bend a control arm and sway bar end link, but that's not the car's fault. That's what we call idiot damage. Talking about under here is pretty hard to do. There's not that much to say. Everything in here works and has a function. It's not hard to work on. It's not a pain in the butt. Parts aren't super expensive. I will complain for 5 seconds. The oil filter design was done by idiots. I understand why they did it. Toyota mechanics weren't making very much money because, you know, the cowboy hats here, they just don't break. So they were getting mad, so they made the maintenance really hard to do so that they could make some money on the maintenance, and it worked. So rather than sacrifice the quality of the contents of the engine, they just made the maintenance harder. So is it annoying? Yes. Is it frustrating? Yes. Do I see why they did it? And I'm glad they did that instead of compromise the quality? Yes, also, all of those things. So headlights are easy to do. Air filter's easy to do. If you own one of these, can you do your own maintenance? Absolutely. But most people don't. I've noticed this is the class of people who would rather pay to get it done right, which are the people I appreciate because that's how I make my living. But they never ever seriously need anything. It's always simple stuff, wiper blades and all. So I don't have that much to say under here other than praises and fireworks, but that's it. Let's talk about the trunk since we had some complaints on the last generation RAV4 trunks. All right, previous generations of RAV4 were not this smart. Apparently they heard me complaining. I finally get a liftgate that makes sense. Now the 4Runners had a liftgate for a long time. I don't know why the RAV4 had to have this stupid door that was just a piece of crap when we could have done this. The technology existed. This is a better option. So I prefer this. If you need to load stuff, you can do it now. There's nothing in the way, and that was literally my only complaint with the old ones besides that and the timing belt. They're both gone. 2.5 has a timing chain, trunk goes up out of my way. So this is a perfect car. It's really hard to talk about. There's nothing in here, like the seats are comfortable. There's plenty of space. It gets excellent gas mileage. What are you watching this for? Go buy one. All right, let's talk about interiors. Back here, we have an astronomical amount of space. It's set up for me to drive over, I'm right at 6 feet tall and I can fit in there no trouble. Front seat is comfortable. It really hugs you, you know, like a sports seat would. That's a little weird for an SUV, but whatever, everybody's got a style preference. But back here you could fit 3 of your biggest friends and it would be okay. They'd have to like each other, but it's not terrible. Really fixed that issue from the really early RAV4s. 3 people in the back, little squished. Here you get a lot more space, and they didn't sacrifice any performance or gas mileage. Up front, all the switches and stuff are easy to read, very simple to understand. I am going to bring you inside for a second for my single complaint about this car. I love these big, beefy hand grips that you're not going to rip off like the old generation that would just come off in your hand. They really fixed that problem. Here's my complaint. Cup holder situation, they still haven't figured out. We got one right here, and this person put this wing donger in here for their cell phone, so that's unusable. And this back one here is apparently sized for a woolly mammoth, not really a usable cup. So previous generation couldn't do cup holders because they were too small. This generation, they made it an abyss. It's like they're mocking you. Oh, you want some cup holders? Oh, here's some cup holders for you. Enjoy that. Like, come on, really? Internal storage is good. There's plenty of stuff everywhere. Glove box is huge. I mean, there's really nothing to complain about. Oh, sunroofs of this vintage have not had a leak complaint yet. So maybe they fixed it, maybe they didn't, I don't know, but haven't got a complaint yet. Navigation is optional. You could pay to have the GPS thing, but most people use it on their phones these days and don't need it anymore. Again, running out of complaints. So overall with this RAV4, I would say if you're looking for a small SUV, you don't really need to tow anything too heavy, and you need something reliable. You're not really trying to impress everybody at the office, but you also don't want to be constantly visiting the mechanic. The car for you is the Toyota RAV4. And that's all we got time for this week on Grumpy Monkey Garage. You guys have a fantastic day, and quit buying garbage Fords.